to try and say what I have to say without also being a belligerent, disrespectful a-hole. I believe I can go right up to the line sometimes because I can get pretty excited and very erratic with my takes. But Helmut Marko seems to have said some things in regard to Lando Norris and his missed opportunities in collecting more points than Max Verstappen to give him the edge on actually closing this gap in the drivers' championship. That is basically what's going on. And Helmut Marko pretty much says, YRE Supreme first in the live chat. What's up, YRE? Dave Quattro is fam. He's second. What's going on, K5? But to be official on the podium to enter the live chat, you got to be fam. So right now we got two people. K5 with a spoon. I'm going to put you up there right now for the time being. But Helmut Marko has said some things, and I do want to go into this because I'm going to do my best to say something about this without also being disrespectful, because I'm going to tell you like this. You can't have it both ways. So right here, what we got is supposedly a quote or a statement from Helmut Marko. Says, we are very lucky at Red Bull that Lewis Hamilton, X-Trax 38 on the podium, that Lewis Hamilton isn't driving for McLaren in 2024 because if he was, he would easily win the championship this season in their car. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't think many of us disagree with what that is saying. I don't think many of us disagree with what that is saying. But I will also say this. I do believe Helmut Marko saying what he has said there is likely a ploy to mentally disturb Lando Norris. I'll say that. I think that it is somewhat of a ploy to disturb Lando Norris. I think that what Helmut Marko has said here is meant to get under the skin of Lando Norris. I also am saying that I do think that that is true. I do think that if Lewis Hamilton was driving for McLaren, that Red Bull would not be in the driver's championship with Max Verstappen right now. I'm not saying that I do believe that. I do think, and I also want to say Lando put his foot in his mouth that race. I forget which one it was, but when he walked in the cool down room, Lewis tried to, hey, it's going to be okay. And Lando kind of pretty much snapped, like Lewis was giving him a compliment saying your car is fast. Oh, you had a fast car 7 years ago. Lando, bro, none of that need to be said. None of that needed to be said. So what Lando was doing right there is he was being messy and he was being a bit petty and he was being disrespectful. Bro, I'm just giving you a compliment that McLaren has finally built a fast car and you guys got a fast car. I'm just acknowledging the work that you've done is paid off. But what Lando did is he turned around to be petty and be spiteful. And also, let's not also forget, I got to say this, I'm going to put it out there. Lando also was the same guy that was in the cool-down room with Max Verstappen who put his trash on Lewis Hamilton's seat. That's the same dude, the same guy. With his homeboy who decided to move his chair, Max Verstappen, move his chair away from Lewis Hamilton as if he got the cooties. That's the same dude that you call your friend. The same dude. So I gotta check Lando right here before I go and give him a little aid. But we do want to keep it in perspective. This is the same petty Lando that's made several remarks in regard to Lewis Hamilton that have been lightweight disrespectful. All right? This is the same Lando that called himself buddy-buddy with Max Verstappen, got matching necklaces. First he got to apologize, then he don't got to apologize. This is the same guy. Yo, Lando, how is that working out for you with Max running you off track? How's that working out for you? It's not working out good because I'm going to say this. Evidently, Max is able to disregard your friendship in order to win a championship. And so much so, he does not mind exploiting the regulations in regard to being disrespectful and pushing you so far off track, he should have been penalized himself. That's the same dude. And Helmut Marko, I'm going to say this. Although this statement, if true, We are very lucky at Red Bull that Lewis Hamilton isn't driving for McLaren in 2024 because if he was, he would easily win the championship this season in their car. I'm going to say you can't have it both ways. Big shout out to Matthew Gubbins. Big shout out to YRE. Big shout out to Dave Quattro. I'm going to say you can't have it both ways. I can't have it both ways. That's what I'm going to say. And why I'm saying that is this. I've said here on this channel, and I have blatantly put Helmut Marko out for the disrespectful things, the racist things, and some of the other things that Helmut Marko has said. So am I going to sit here and side with Helmut Marko? No, I'm not. Because although I agree with what that said about if Lewis Hamilton, and I believe most of you would too, I don't agree with who it's coming from. And the messenger matters. Helmut Marko is somebody who, when he said that, I don't think his intent was to give Lewis Hamilton any credit. Because, brother, you ain't trying to give Lewis Hamilton any credit. It's oddly funny. They want to bring Lewis's name into it when they want to use it as a spear tip to poke somebody else. Why didn't you just say Max Verstappen? Why didn't you say if Max Verstappen was in that car, we'd be so far ahead like we were the season before? Why didn't you mention somebody else? Because he wants to be very and highly controversial. And I'm going to tell you, I think it's a backhanded compliment to be used as a front smack on Lando Norris. Pretty much, you used to drive for McLaren, he was champion, and you ain't ever going to be champion. Lewis Hamilton, hey, if you had a better team and a better car, you might be winning a championship. I don't take it from Helmut Marko in any other way but disrespectful, because that's what he's been. This is the same guy that disrespected his second driver in Sergio Perez by not knowing what country he's truly from and disrespecting a country of people who he wasn't associated with. This is the same guy. Don't forget, Helmut Marko is known for criticizing and being disrespectful in racial tones to Sergio Perez by telling the public that Sergio Perez does not have the mental capability that his white counterparts do, i.e. Seb and Max Verstappen. That's the same guy that said that. So no, I don't agree with Helmut Marko. I don't side with Helmut Marko, but I also think, yes, if Lewis Hamilton was in a McLaren this year, Lewis Hamilton will be a driving champion by the end of the season. He would be a world driving championship by the end of the season. I also will say this. It is my opinion, not attaching it to Helmut Marko, that Lando Norris does not have that dog in him. Him not having that dog is not him being mentally weak. There are people that are mentally strong, but they don't have the characteristic to be very aggressive. Max Verstappen is overly aggressive and his character sucks, but he's got that ability to have that dog in him. Lando, you got to decide if you really want to just be Max's doorman or his bestie, or do you want to be a driving champion? Because if you want to be that, you're going to have to drive against Max like that. You're going to have to slam the door on Max to the point where he's going to wreck out. You got to correct and slap Max up if you really want to win. You're bringing a knife to a gunfight. Every time Max Verstappen shows up, metaphorically, every time he shows up to a race, Max Verstappen is packing a gun. Metaphorically. Okay? Metaphorically. I'll pack him for real. He's packing them metaphorically. You're bringing a knife when you walk into the paddock. You got to bring your own gun out there on track when you're going to race Max Verstappen, because him metaphorically is packing a gun. You need to have that type of energy when you race Max Verstappen. You need to say to yourself, I'm willing to risk it all for him to wreck us out so he learns you can't punk me no more. 083 says, don't forget Marko say that Perez was drunk on Thank you. Let's not forget, this the same guy that put a Formula One driver out there, joking or not, that he was under the influence of alcohol on track and had to be drinking tequila. So no, I don't agree with Helmut Marko. No, I'm not siding with Helmut Marko. None of that. Because that dude has nothing but ill intentions every time he opens his damn mouth. If it's not about Perez, it's about Lewis Hamilton. And now it's at Lando Norris at the cost of using Lewis Hamilton's name, pretty much like Alonso. But I will say, Lando, bro, you gotta pick it up. You gotta get it together. You do gotta get it together, man. You gotta decide where you gonna be. Oscar, what's going on? You gotta decide where you gonna be in this. You gotta decide if you're gonna be this big dog in the fight. Because you are racing against a big dog. As tenacious, as rabid as that dog may be, it is a big dog. And you need to level up. Yeah, it's going to cost you some, but you need to be willing to show Max Verstappen, bro, I'm going to get you. I'm going to show you what's up. You think you just taking me out? I'm finna take us both out. Let me see how far you want to go to push me off track. Let me see how far you want to go to dive bomb into this corner just to be barely ahead at the apex so that the rules say that you can run me wide. I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something. That's what he's going to have to do. But Lando might not be willing to do that. He might not be that aggressive type of driver. So do I think Lando Norris is mentally weak? No. I've met Lando Norris. I've seen some of the things that Lando Norris has been involved in. He's petty, true. But no, I don't think he's mentally weak. I think he mentally compartmentalizes or handles things a bit different than I would and that most people would, because none of us are the same. And I don't know if I'm going to go as far as Zach Brown went and some other people went to say, oh, Helmut Marko just set us back generations. I am not going to say that because I'm not going to allow y'all to put this in the same context or same level as racism, because those are some of the same things y'all say in regards to racism. Not going to let you do that. I am going to say, if y'all feel that way, why is Helmut Marko still in Formula One? If the FOM feel this way, why are you still allowing this man to show up to the Red Bull garage and at your events? If y'all really feel this way, let me see y'all put a document and a piece of paper together to get him banned from Formula One or get him kicked out, because he does not represent what Formula One is. Ben Salim, didn't you say your drivers are not rappers and rappers are not like us, but you still using rappers' likeness to support the Formula One events? Because Quavo was just there in Texas. So what is Helmut Marko? Because if that's the case, why are you not talking out against Helmut Marko? Y'all need to do something. But I'm going to tell you, y'all going to talk about it, and then y'all going to let Helmut Marko stay where he is, and let's just call it what it is. It's white privilege. It's white privilege. Because I'm going to tell you right now, had Lewis Hamilton came out and said Lando Norris was mentally weak, that if I were in that car right now, I would be the world driving champion. It would be fire across all platforms. It would be all types of talk of, does he need a penalty? Should he be suspended? It would be crazy. It would be way more blown up than it is right now. So I need to see the same energy for Helmut Marko. That's what I need to see. Keep the same energy. Don't be biased about it. Don't be contradicting. Don't be counterproductive. Don't be any of those things. Don't discriminate. Keep the same energy. Helmut Marko, if you say he set Formula One back generations, why is he still allowed to be there? Better yet, why is Jos Verstappen, Max Verstappen's dad, allowed to be there? Assaulting another driver, vehicular manslaughter, so-called attempted murder. Why is he allowed to be there? Does he embody what Formula One really is? This is why I know y'all a joke. Y'all not going to do nothing about that, because y'all don't do nothing about it. Privilege. But Lewis Hamilton gets flagged for wearing a Breonna Taylor t-shirt, murdered by police officers. But he can't wear that. He can't do that. Really? All right. I get it. I get it. Same old song, dance. I feel you. Okay, whatever. But anyway, no, I don't agree with Helmut Marko. Yes, Lando Norris does need to step up his aggressiveness or his ability to stand up to Max Verstappen. I do firmly believe that if Lewis Hamilton was in that McLaren, he'd be further ahead than Lando Norris right now. I think it's proven by what he's doing in a W15, which is not a very good car, but a decent car, nowhere near as good as the McLaren. That I do believe. But I ain't siding with Helmut Marko. So Wolfpack Performance is in, and we out. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.